Just start. Easier said than done sometimes, right? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach, and today we're going to be putting into practice Ali Abdaal's How to Start a YouTube Channel advice and just get going and start. So what we're going to do today is a 2-in-1 video. We're going to do this video, the behind the scenes, let's make a video, how to do a video, and then the actual video that I'm going to make to show that yes, it can be done. And we're just going to start, not worry about the quality. Maybe this audio is a little bad. I'm just in the corner at the window light, not using the greatest equipment, but we're going to start. We're going to get something out there and we're going to time box ourselves to do this today. It is 3:25. It's 3:25 on a Sunday, and we're going to finish this in one day. Whatever we get today, that's gonna be it. We're gonna hit publish and do this video today. So let's get started. Okay, so now we committed to just getting going and doing something like talking to this camera and making this video. So what are we gonna talk about? Using Ali Abdaal's advice in the video is the easiest thing to talk about is something you already know. Creating original content, super hard, but what do I already know about? What can I show off and talk about? In this case, I'm going to talk about a book I just read. So I'm going to talk about this manga that I'm reading, and we're going to make a video, the video inside a video about a manga review. So I'm just going to, first of all, do a little bit of extra prep work, not speak straight off the cuff. I'm going to do a little structure for the video, just to write down my thoughts. It's been a week since I read the book, so I'm going to write that out real quick, have a draft of some talking points, and then we'll just record the actual video. So let's do that next step. Okay, as you hopefully just saw from a quick clip, I wrote down just a quick kind of like outline, rough draft of what I'm going to talk about. I really wanted to time box myself on this activity because script revision is something I've struggled with in the past. Whereas I think of a topic and I want to kind of write out what the structure of the video, but you can just endlessly revise it, right? It's never going to be quite good enough. So, there's always better. You could probably say, change a word here, change a word there, and revise. Anyone who's done creative writing or any kind of writing knows this. If you've written an email, you probably know you could rewrite the email and redraft it. But again, in the interest of just doing it and getting going, something you need to remind yourself all the time, whether it's work or play, we time box myself. It literally took a minute and a half to write this. I wanted to give myself 10 minutes or less. I feel like just quick 3 points, that will be my main thoughts. And doing this is going to help later, because when we edit, instead of re-recording these sessions over and over again, having a general outline, even if it's just 3 bullet points that you wrote down in a minute or less, what that's going to help with is eliminate the need to re-edit this. Even now when I'm kind of misspeaking this, I know I could probably pause and restart and say this again. But in the interest of just doing it and for helping my future self in the editing room, I'm going to not do that and just roll with it, so it'll save me a ton of time in the back end. Okay, on to the next step. Okay, and in a slight intermediary step, since it is 3:36, we've only been doing this for 10 minutes. We finished early, so we're going to do some B-roll and make coffee in order to get us through this last section. So let's live do this here within our time, and we're just going to make some coffee in the coffee machine. Okay, now it's time to just do the thing and do the actual recording. So coffee in hand, quick coffee break. Lost a little time to B-roll shooting, but now we're just in the dining room on the table because there's a big window that I'm going to use as my key light. So as you see here, we're going to record the rest of this. I've got my notes here, the cat. I'm using a slightly different mic just because this mic is my quick and dirty mic. And then we have the recording camera on another tripod just because we're doing a behind the scenes video about the video. But let's just do the thing. It's now 4:01, so we'll right on time. We've spent about 30 minutes so far, including the B-roll and the video about the video. but let's record a quick manga review video about Land of the Lustrous, something I recently finished reading. I think I can talk about and have a couple general outline tips. So here's that behind the scenes as I record the other camera. So video complete. We just finished the recording. Probably, definitely could have done better. It's a 12-minute video clip. I did start and stop a few times. I know I probably should have, of course, rehearsed better, maybe written a script, but I did it. You know, the video's done. We've got something that we can go edit and knock out. It is now 4:16, so we took all of about 15 minutes to concept and record a quick 10-minute review where I talked about a subject I already knew, a manga book that I had just read, did my not best performance on camera, but we got something. So now the next step, hopefully because I wrote a semi-script, I won't have to edit too much, but now let's go back upstairs to the computer and do some editing. 4:20, back upstairs. Now we're going, coffee's still warm. We're at the computer, not necessarily worrying about the background, but we're going to do some editing. So I'm going to screen share and hopefully chop this up, maybe talking to the camera, but we'll just do a quick and dirty edit. That's why we wrote the script, you know, so not even writing the script, but just having the outline so that it minimizes the amount of retakes I need to shoot. Hopefully I'll show in this video, I did a couple misspeaks. It took me a couple starts to restart it. And I did have some pauses where I was checking my notes and seeing what I wanted to talk about next. And even then, of course, it was a little bit off the cuff. But since this video that we're creating inside this video is about a subject I already knew about, I had a general idea what I want to talk about, and this allows me to share with the internet, share with the world, something that I want to talk about. No one's probably going to watch that video. No one's going to even watch this video unless I send to somebody specifically to show them, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can make your channel. Yes, you can start. So get going. So here we go. Okay, let's see. Let's see how fast I can edit this video. So first of all, we're just going to go to Finder. I've already transferred it over to external hard drive. So now we're just going to, here's the video file, 5 gigabytes. Not the greatest quality. It's okay. Just throw this into Premiere. So this is not an ad for Adobe, but I personally use and love Premiere and Creative Cloud, all the fun stuff there because it gives you access to not just Premiere, but of course things like After Effects and Audition. If you really want to take kind of the next level, once you learn the basics with an app like Premiere Pro, you can move on to something more advanced like After Effects for those motion graphics and Audition to clean up your audio. But Premiere honestly has a ton of the new features right now. That's all you need. So we see it here in our timeline. I'm going to new item sequence. Let's create a new sequence, and this is my manga review for Land of the Lustrous. So now we have the file in there. I'm going to take it into the project. We're just going to keep the existing settings because I think I recorded at a higher frame rate, which is fine. So yeah, the one thing you'll probably need to edit, of course, is sometimes just the beginning and ending. Again, you can see here on the screen as I kind of scrub through this and start and stop just the beginning. If you look down here at the bottom, these audio spikes is a really good hint of when I was actually talking, because obviously it only recorded the audio when I was talking. So this is all, content with me speaking. Whereas, any of these pauses, you see there's no audio at this section down here. I was probably doing something different, so I can just cut those sections out. I know those, kind of to look for. And if you look here on the larger timeline, here at the beginning, this is probably me misspeaking. Now, let me actually go to the easier to understand the editing panel. But here these are, again, me kind of starting to talk and not really starting. So here is these, I'm going to go here to the beginning and just quick, instead of using shortcuts, I'll do it by hand just for the video purposes. We're going to delete all this out. So again, now I'm left with about an 8-minute video. Plenty of time for a YouTube video. No one wants to sit through long videos anyways. So hopefully now, minimal editing. Is this the actual start? Let's see. This is me posing in front of the camera. Hello and thanks for checking out the video. My name is Zach and today I'm going to do a brief manga review of... Nope, see this is me misstarting, so let me do the beginning. This is me posing for the other camera. Here we go. I can see the audio spike here, so I'm going to chop below that. Hello. And kind of delete this first breath. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach, and in an effort to revive this channel and just get some content out there, instead of making a long, elaborate video with review with tons of effects and After Effects and all the extra stuff, I'm going to do quick and dirty talk to the camera about something I just read that I want to talk about, and that is a quick review of the manga Land of the Lustrous. So I just finished the manga. Okay, here I see I misspoke. So again, using this kind of trick of here's where the audio starts. I can see the little valley here. So this is audio through mistake. This blank is me not talking, and I can see that reflected in the video. And where the audio starts up again, this is probably where I started. So let me just scrub here. So I just get that first breath out of the way. Zoom in a little bit. See where I started. Okay, I'm gonna chop here-ish. So I've got this chunk that needs to come out, so let's ripple delete, which deletes it, but then also moves the next one in space. So here we go. So I just finished the Lustrous. Okay, just to pause for a second because I need to edit this part of the video out. The self-feedback is, I definitely could have written the script better. There's a lot of ums and ahs. I think I repeated myself a few times in talking about themes. So this is where, more scripting can be helpful, because again, it'll be a much more crisp read, but in the interest of just getting going, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is kind of more conversational. As you would talk to a friend, you'd probably repeat yourself. So I'm not going to worry too much. I'm not going to re-record. I'm just going to get out there and keep on chucking. So right now I'm going to edit this where I double check my notes. So go back here to where I finished this one speech and delete. Frames from the manga. So on. Okay. Delete the sigh, find the next valley, and chop it right there, and go here and delete it. So now, just to play back, make sure it goes smoothly. Yeah. So on that note of back for a longer explainer video, or just one of these quick takes on the manga of the week that I've been reading. So long, have a great one. Okay, and editing is complete. This is not full editing, so there's a little bit more to do, of course, but we've got picture lock, as they say it in kind of the movie terms. So this is our main content. We start at 0, and it goes to about 7.5 minutes. So pretty decent video, right? 7.5 minutes, 7:45. Definitely enough. Maybe it's not YouTube ad optimized. I think it's like 9 minutes. But so our next steps at this point, if you wanted to put an intro and ending music, that's one thing on our to-do list. But also, this being a manga, if you can see how I filmed it, I did leave a lot of negative space in over my shoulders because I might add panels from the manga. So I want to maybe have a graphic here, a graphic there. So instead of being all the way up in the center or to one side, I left kind of headroom for that. So I want to put it over there. If you look at the video, of course, I left the light switch in. Not the greatest. Maybe we can cover that up or just paint it out using Premiere's tools. So that's our next on our list. Add a quick intro with over here on the in Premiere Pro under captions and graphics, or in the graphics and titles actually. Essential graphics. What we can do is find on the Adobe stock, again, why I love the Creative Cloud, all this access stuff. So look for a quick title. Blasted, we could just choose any of these 157 of free titles. So maybe travel intro, if you look at the style, once we hover over, just name, place, it's all we kind of need. This is our quick and dirty video. Again, that's why I like Creative Cloud. It saves you time. Just using these pre-built things, it's definitely a time saver. That is the whole point of reusable graphics. You're not doing yourself, creating from scratch every single time. So like this, bold minimal title. I kind of like that, just simple. So we'll drag that onto the timeline here. Let's see what it looks like. So minimal. In an effort to revive this channel and just get some content out there. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name? Maybe not, maybe it's a little too in your face. So let's go back to the browse. Okay, as you saw, I probably sped this up, the quick editing. I didn't like the first couple titles, but I eventually found one that worked because again, just with the word placement, I wanted to have manga review and the title. So I needed something that was a little larger. Just in general flow, I wanted to do an intro first and then kind of lead into the title. So that's how I place it here. So now that the title is done, so kind of intro to the video, that's all you really need. If we really wanted to, we could find, search for like outro and, one of these like and subscribe things. I could add one of these if I wanted, social media outro, follow us things. I could just, take this like and subscribe one, just tack it on the end here. Once we load that motion graphic template, these quick takes on the manga of the week that I've been reading. So long, have a great one. A like and subscribe thing, so yeah, sure, why not? So let's go to edit that, click on it, kind of change the color probably. So long, have a great one. And we're done. So now we're going to pause this because we're at time for one video recording. But after we've done picture lock and intro and ending, we're going to do a quick filter on the audio, do a quick color fix, and then we'll add the graphics. So that's next. So let me pause this to restart. All right, it is now 4:50. We finished one video where we did just the behind the scenes editing. We added a intro and ending. So that is done. If we really wanted to, we could play around with this light switch. But again, that's sort of like advanced editing techniques that you don't really have to worry about. It's totally fine. No one is going to fault you for that. So again, now we're done. My next thing is just do some quick audio. And for this video, we're going to stay in Premiere. We're not going to round trip to Audition for more advanced because Premiere has everything we need. It's in one spot nowadays. So here on the screen, we're going to click this clip. And actually, again, here's another best practice. Do individually, but what you can also do is create this as a sort of nested item to group it all together. There's probably a better way to do this. This is how I do it, but this is the manga review nested. And what that does, it creates a clip where it's all together. And what the advantage of this is when I apply one effect, it applies it to everything that's inside of it. It's just basically a container, like a box in a box. So what that'll mean, because the audio is recorded all at the same time, under the same conditions, each individual clip doesn't need different effects to it. So I can just apply one effect and that theoretically should apply to all of it because it was recorded at the same time. So now over here in the audio panel, again, using the built-in effects, this was dialogue. This was, again, all these, I have these presets, podcast voice, but I'll just do balanced male voice, which usually honestly works pretty good. So take in just the vastness of the world. Sounds better already. But yeah, it does have some dynamics. I usually bump this down a little bit because I was using an external mic, so I don't need as much processing. Like the repair, I want to reduce, no rumble or noise or the S's. I wanted to get rid of the S's like I'm talking now, but I also want to reduce the reverb. Again, only a 3. Of course, at the very beginning, we're introduced to reverb, of course, is that loud, the room reverberations. So I was recording in the dining room, big open space, so it did have some reverb, not a professional, recording studio. Who's dressed as a Buddhist monk. So I personally can tell the difference. This is totally optional, and I'm going to bump up the sound to compensate for that reduction. Part of the fun of Land of the Lustres is figuring out this mystery. So I feel that the reverb gives that more intimate speaking to the microphone feel. but I'm gonna bump it up to compensate for these effects, bump up the overall clip volume, that is.
We're presented with a lot of elements, such as the gems, which may be hard.
Again, the noise, probably don't need any of this stuff. Loudness, this is fine. Again, you can play with this. I felt it's probably fine. Again, it's as advanced as you want to get it, right? The EQ is subtle voice male. Yeah, this is the key things for me is the EQ, the equalizer. The frequency response, male. It can be obviously female or any of the other presets. And I like this, the enhanced speech, the low tone usually sounds better. And then, yeah, none of this.
Hard to keep up at times because they're all named after real life gems and sort of take on those properties.
We're done with audio. So next we're going to do color. So over here in the color tab, I like working with adjustment layers. You know, been using Photoshop for ages, so I'm going to make a new adjustment layer, which this is just a habit, but since we're nesting, you technically don't even have to. What layers are, if you're unfamiliar with Photoshop, it's just, if you think everything's stacked on top of each other, the camera sees through one into the other. So if you put one thing in front of it, it applies this to everything below it, which is kind of a simplified way to think of layers in the Photoshop sense. So same for video. If you see this is on V2, so anything applied here, the camera will first see this layer before it bleeds into the second layer. So I can use this as, I can put all my creative color effects, such as just extreme show you, you know, changing the exposure on the adjustment layer. If I turn off that layer and let the camera see through it, it's not on the actual video. I could, you know, click that video, highlight it, and adjust that separately as well. But the adjustment layer kind of just keeps all my edits, all the color edits, specific to that one thing. So I'm going to go back here and just, again, the cameras do a pretty good job. I'm going to white balance, probably a little bit, maybe, like, again, it's, the cameras are good, so good nowadays that you don't even need a lot. It was a, you know, because I was using window light, not too bad. You know, like, doesn't really need maybe a tad green, maybe it was slightly off the white balance, but I trust the Canon cameras. You know, even as I play with this, as I look at it, I feel like it was probably better straight at camera, maybe a little warmer. Everything usually looks good a little warmer. In personal preference, I kind of know these settings. I like things a little bit contrastier. I prefer that, you know, that little contrast look. Again, just before and after, slightly warmer because of the blue wall behind me. Or not blue, it's bluish gray. The blue wall behind me, slightly more contrasty, maybe a little more contrasty, just what I prefer. Contrast, you know, it's makes the blacks blacker, so my shirt's a little bit, you know, darker here. I like that look. Again, the highlights on my face, I can take this down just a hair because I was using a window light, so it did have kind of, you know, one directional light source. So again, looking at it, maybe just a hair, like in the 20-ish range. I like the round numbers, so I'm gonna get 25. Again, I already boosted the shadows. This will just kind of compensate a little bit for the contrast, kind of bring the shadows back up just a hair. Then down here in the creative, one thing I usually do is sharpen. Again, I usually put it around to 20. If you zoom in to like 100% here on the fit screen, on the fit dialog box, I should say, you can see,
Becomes clear.
you know, sharpness, you don't need that much. If you're using a good camera, you don't need a lot. If it was recorded maybe on, you know, using Teams or something, a built-in camera to your computer, you might need a little more. But again, I feel even that, you know, again, turning this on and off, barely noticeable. And then I'll add just a little kick of negative saturation to bring it down a little bit, and then positive vibrance. This is from my photo days. I've always kind of done it this way. Bring down the overall saturation, but bring up the vibrance just a hair. They just attack color slightly differently, so I feel it's better for skin tones. And totally optional and probably over-explaining here. And here we go. So this is creative before, after. You don't even tell the difference, I know. It's just super subtle, but it was a little bit of sharpening. Everything else, you don't touch. I don't worry about any of this. Let's go back to fit to screen. You know, I mean, yeah, I would like a little bit of vignetting just to kind of give that camera feel. Again, not necessary. We're done. 0. Color editing took all 5 seconds. And it's mainly here in the basic correction. You can do auto. It's not that bad either, but do undoing that and putting it back, just a little bit, just bumping up the warmth a little bit for skin tones, because to offset the blue wall. We're done. Okay, so now to recap, we did editing, we did titles using the graphics tab, we did an ending, we did audio, and we did color. So literally the video is done. We're done at this point. We're ready to publish. So if you've never used Premiere, this wasn't a Premiere tutorial, but I'm going to export it using my preset of choice, which Premiere again has over here in the preset, it has a YouTube preset. So I'm going to pick YouTube 1080p Full HD and hit export, and we're done. Like literally in the next 5 minutes I'll have this video made, and then I'll screen share me uploading to YouTube. So let's pause here while this export finishes in 2 minutes. We're just about at 4:59, 5 o'clock. We started this about an hour and a half ago, and we're exporting already. So in sake of time, I'll pause this and see you in 2 minutes. Okay, we're back recording because I totally lied. So we weren't totally complete, even though it's 5 o'clock and I was trying to stick to the clock. We did color, we did graphics, and we did audio. So those are done, but since this is a manga review video, one extra step, even though it could have been done by now, is I wanted to put graphics in the corners. So what I'm going to do is use fair use. Hopefully that YouTube won't monetize, copyright strike me for this, but I'm going to screenshot a couple chapters from the manga, from the digital manga, so it's already in a computer format. I'm going to airdrop them over to my MacBook, bring them into Premiere, and put those graphics in the video. So let me scroll through a couple chapters of the manga just so I have some content to put in the corners. We're going to add that as a little extra step that's kind of not necessary, but again, for the context of this video, that's what I personally want. So we'll take a little bit of time to do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now it is 5:12. I just took a 10-minute or so break to go through the manga and find a couple screenshots. Just screenshot it from my iPad how I was reading it, so that I can have that content to add in the corners of the video. So I've just over here I've added them to airdropped them over to the MacBook, threw them into Premiere now. So now I'm going to just simply go here into the editing window. Now that I'm done with color, go back to editing. Just figure out where I want to place them in the video. So I can close this panel actually. So let's go over here. Here's the intro.
Really liked was the art style.
Talking about the art style. Normally, one thing I would do also is while I was editing this, I might just do a quick text layer where I'm talking about art style here, so that when I edit it, I know, oh, this section is me talking about art style, and then I would maybe put this as on its own layer and invisible, so it doesn't show in the video, but it shows in my notes kind of. So here where I'm talking about art style, I know, oh, I want to maybe grab this graphic about the cover, and I want it to extend for here for this much length in the video. And then after I click on it, controls, obviously I want to scale it down, and I just want to put it over in the corner. So I'm going to, not full screen, let's scale it down a little more right here, and boom. So now just check out the video.
I really want to talk about it.
So again, here is where I would watch the video again. Good thing it's short, to kind of figure out. I didn't take notes. This is probably best practice.
I would definitely say Land of the Lustrous kind of fits that mold.
I might. So here's this. I know I'm looking for this graphic to talk about a specific point.
I don't know anything about the manga. It's about crystals.
Here's where I'm talking about crystals. So I know I want to kind of use one of these graphics like this. So again, and once you've edited once, you can kind of, again, saving time, steal the edits so that it all looks consistent. So steal this and bring it over here, and now it's scaled exactly the same.
Are these in androgynous gems. They're all bays, which is interesting.
So I'm going to pause recording now and just go ahead and do it and add the pictures. So let me pause this video. Okay, it is now 5:30, so we've officially spent 2 hours. We thought of an idea, well, we had an idea brewing in their brain, but we had an idea, we wrote a quick script, we shot the video, and we edited the video in 2 hours. So as you saw here on the screen, we're kind of finished on the editing. We added a couple graphics here and there, added just some titles, super quick, easy. That's exactly all we need at this point. But I will click over here if you follow along on the screen. Over here in your Creative Cloud, you have all these, tutorials. So if you want to delve further than to what I'm explaining right now, create a video for social media. That has all these tutorials that shoots you over here to the Creative Cloud site, where you can delve in further, such as edit videos for social media, import media files. Those are here. Audio mixes, color adjustments, visual foundations. This is all your beginner need to know stuff. So, great research from Adobe. Love Adobe. Tons of stuff to get started than what I'm teaching you. But now back to Premiere Pro. We're done in 2 hours. We created the video, so we're going to File, Export. If I can click it, File, Export Media, and again using the built-in presets over here, we're going to create a YouTube video 1080p, all of the export location, and we're going to just export it, and we're done in 2 hours. So we got, after these 2 minutes where I export the video, we're just gonna upload it to YouTube. As they say in the Ali Abdal video, it's just to publish it. It can be unlisted, just if you have that little bit of fear of getting yourself out there. But as the whole theme of this, the whole point of this behind the scenes video is, it really is that easy. Anyone can do it in an afternoon. You can become a content creator. As much as I want to go and finish up some PS5 games and play that and consume content, I want to at least take the time to create content, and that is the purpose of this video, where I created 2 videos. This video right here that we're watching, a behind the scenes video, and the actual manga review video, which was the product of this whole little experiment in meta video. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to see how easy it is, that it is possible to do in a weekend, in a couple hours. Take a little bit of time out of your Sunday like I'm doing and just do it. Get started, get going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one.